Welcome to the National Motor Museum in Coventry in the UK. As an editor and publisher in the technology sector, I've attended probably hundreds of developer conferences and challenges around the world, but this is the first time I've ever attended an automotive developer conference. This one is the 2016 Jaguar Land Rover Developer Challenge, and Connected Car magazine was invited to come along to the event as both a media partner, and I'm also one of the judges. So this movie will take you through the event, show how the event ran, and also at the end of it will obviously show us who actually won the 2016 JLR Developer Challenge. The challenge was hosted by Jaguar Land Rover Research and had been published for many weeks before the event, with a pre-event hookup in London, and it seemed no expense spared. That JLR should be staging a developer conference at all is a sign of the way the industry is changing. And I'd have to say that the company should be applauded for its vision and courage. Anyone like me with a background in the tech industry will know that these events are not for the faint-hearted. Challenge entrants arrived on Friday afternoon, and for many, this was the start of a more than 48-hour, non-stop, sleep-deprived, pizza and Diet Coke-fueled coding fest. Within the region of 50 people, there was no shortage of entrants, and there could have been more. I understand that twice as many people applied as could be accommodated. In keeping with Jaguar Land Rover's brand principles though, it was all very civilised, with JLR and event staging partner M&C Saatchi making sure that there was always something to eat, drink, and if you had to crash out, beanbags and sleeping areas. And for those that had chosen to book a hotel room in Coventry, there was a fleet of JLR vehicles to run people around. Everything started nicely. There was some networking, museum tours, more networking, and then things really got going. Jaguar Land Rover laid out for the developers the resources that were available, including a vehicle, a Range Rover Evoque, electronic systems and assemblies up to and including complete seats. JLR provided access to its own APIs and also handed over real vehicle data captured by its own engineers. There's no question this was a comprehensive support package. As part of the scene setting, JLR execs Carl Pickering and Peter Verk presented JLR's current connected car thinking. Then it was time for the challenge entrants to step forward. People had come along as individuals or in small groups, and they were invited on stage to pitch their ideas to each other. Initially, the plan being that the gravitational pull of the best ideas would encourage people to align with the concepts that showed the most potential, and for teams to form. For many, this meant putting aside their own ideas, and for people who had perhaps put time and effort into developing their own application, this seemed like quite an ask. But the spirit of the event prevailed, and this they duly did. The final 10 groups ranged in size from 2 people up to 7 to 8. And so, late on Friday evening, just when most people were either going out to clubs or more likely going to bed, the talking stopped and the coding began. Yes, at approaching midnight. As the developers knuckled down, we judges tried not to get in the way of them or of the many JLR staffers who were there to provide technical and, if needed, moral and emotional support. It was great to see the enthusiasm demonstrated by the JLR staff, many choosing to work through the nights just like the developers. Concept development, coding and presentation creation carried on through Friday night, all day Saturday and into Sunday morning. By late morning on Sunday, with a 1 p.m. cut-off looming, some teams were in good shape, rehearsing their presentations, while others had their heads down over their laptops until the last minute. The judges were then led from group to group so that each project could be demoed informally, and so that the judges could build an understanding of the concept, assess how the group had tackled their project, how well they had worked together, and to get a feel who'd been doing the driving. Once this had been completed, everyone, challenge entrants, judges, JLR and M&C Saatchi staff assembled in the main event conference room. This was crunch time, as, one after the other, the groups now had to formally present their projects on stage to the whole audience, the judges and the other competitors. They'd be assessed on 4 different categories. First, there was innovation, idea and originality. Then we had value creation and market potential for Jaguar Land Rover and or the wider industry. Then technical implementation and presentation quality. And finally there was an additional award for Best Design and User Interface. Each group was allocated a strict 5-minute presentation time, and this was firmly policed. The judges were allowed to ask any remaining questions after each presentation. Unsurprisingly, most of the projects were based around smartphone apps, with teams promoting a wide variety of ideas. These included car sharing, used car history reporting, using the car's cameras to provide a journey video log, using car data to encourage better driving, and a couple of ideas that used sensors to assess and act upon the car driver's mood and emotions. One team stepped outside the app environment and proposed using textile-embedded sensors to replace many of the mechanical switches in the car. Once all of the presentations had been made, we judges made our way to a quiet private room, where we discussed what we had seen, compiled our individual scores and passed them through a fair play weighting system. The good news was that the science, the maths supported our thinking, our verbal thoughts matched the numbers, and we had a set of winners. The winning groups were identified and the prizes were presented. Overall winner was a project called Instinct from the two-man team of Harry Parkin and Ralph Lagster, which proposed to create an app that would combine existing navigation systems with vehicle-to-vehicle technology to create a nationwide and constantly updated database of incident hotspots. These would be used to pre-warn a driver that he was approaching either a notorious accident hotspot or that there were localised and temporary dangers such as ice, flooding, accidents or perhaps even escaped animals. This idea struck the entire judging team as so fundamentally right and good. We couldn't understand why something similar was not in place already. After the award ceremony, I spoke with Team Instinct. Well, guys, congratulations. At the end of a very long weekend of hard work, you've just been announced as the winners of the 2016 Jaguar Land Rover Developer Challenge. Tell us what this means to you.
It's been such an amazing experience. It's been a long weekend, but it definitely hasn't really sunk in yet about what's just happened. I mean, we've already chatted to so many people, and yeah, it definitely hasn't sunk in. It's exciting, the prospects that's coming up, and yeah, really looking forward to it.
So, yeah, I'm just like to say thanks to all the Jaguar team who mentored us, because it's unbelievable how you can go inside with a vague idea and come out with an actual business model with that.
Absolutely. So where do you go from here? What happens tomorrow morning?
Well, we've already had a few chats. Obviously, we've got a lot of decisions to make and a lot of people to talk to. So yeah, we're not too sure what route we're going to take from here, but we've got a lot of decisions to make, that's for sure.
So that was it. The 2016 Jaguar Land Rover Developer Challenge was over. From what I could tell, everyone involved thoroughly approved of the event, thought that it had had great value, and thought this was a programme that JLR would do well to continue to support. I spoke with Abhishek Sampat, lead engineer, Jaguar Land Rover Developer Challenge 2016, to get his views. Well, Abhishek, the 2016 Jaguar Land Rover Developer Challenge is now over. What an event it's been. Give us your impressions.
It's been amazing. It's the first time Jaguar Land Rover Research has run an event like this, and it's really opened eyes about what else is out there. There were some standout ideas, and some ideas where they had lots of good ideas, but we just had to help them steer them slightly to get to a point where you go, okay, now you're getting a solid idea, which is a little bit different to what we do. So that was good. That was nice. It was good to see people from the outside the automotive sector coming in. A lot of them just like cars, and they just brought their own skill set and their interest in vehicles.
This then was a well thought out event that helped cement the understanding that car companies are now having to address a whole new world of technology. There's no doubt that both sides of the equation, the hosting car company Jaguar Land Rover and the developers themselves, each benefited from the event. And swinging back to my opening comparison with similar events in the tech and consumer electronics industries, it's events like these that create a fertile breeding ground for innovation and creative thinking. Great products emerge, consumer needs are satisfied, and crucially businesses make money. Will the automotive sector see more events like this? Yes, I'm sure it will.